Welcome back to Mind Matters. We were on a short break where we have been discussing our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. This has been quite a stimulating discussion, and we do welcome your input. That number again to call is 678-619-1402, 678-619-1402, 678-619-1402. In Chapter 15, Mrs. Obama explains why she chose to support her husband's run for the presidency despite her misgivings about politics. What made her change her mind? Would you have made the same choice? How do you balance the competing worlds of family life and work in your life?
Okay, I'll go in case I have to leave. Like my son presently he needs a ride.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
but we're having to share one vehicle, and we have to share one vehicle, and our jobs just have us going wherever. But this is his first night of school. And so sometimes we have to make those sacrifices that Michelle had to do, which was to kind of somewhat put her own goals on hold, but find a way to operate within the parameters of her husband's career and still use that same energy, but in a different way. And so a lot of times we feel like if I can't do me or do mine, and if you can't support me, well, I'm not going to support you, or sometimes we have to reprioritize our goals, in other words, depending on the demands of our life at that time, because some opportunities you just can't pass up.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Anyone else? How do you balance competing work and goals with your personal life and families? Oh, caller? Oh, okay. Hello, caller. Are you there? Hello, caller. Are you there? Caller. Hello. Okay. Well, caller, please call back. We'd love to hear from you.
I'm retired now, but when I was working, it was tough. And Michelle Obama was so ordered from the time she was a kid. I mean, even in her room, the dolls lined up on the bed. I was never quite that orderly. So it was difficult getting kids to soccer practice and rehearsals at school and PTA meetings and getting to work on time when you're trying to get them breakfast and on the bus. I was very impressed, not only with her, but her mother.
Oh, yes.
And how her mother was so absolutely calm
And
all the time. Nothing rattled her. Everything seemed to be where it was supposed to be. And I found it interesting that they lived a very tight kind of life. I mean, everybody was doing something. They were all over the place, but nobody complained because everybody seemed to know what their job was, what they were supposed to do in the house. Everybody did it. I don't think it's quite that easy in every household. It certainly wasn't in mine. I mean, there were times when I felt like I was in chaos, just totally trying to just juggle it all. There weren't enough hours in the day. I didn't get enough sleep. So I am very impressed. I think she still lives her life this way with all the little check boxes. And I think, God seems to send people who they need.
Hello, ladies.
And Barack Obama seems to be real loosey-goosey.
Yes.
I mean, in home life. Wonderful president, but in home life, he would throw his clothes on the floor and be in his little hole, as she called it. But she kept everything on balance.
Yes.
And that's something magical in my opinion.
Caller, are you there? Hello, caller.
She's still on the phone because we heard her talking. That's why we wanted you to put your headsets on. So everything is on. Someone try to put your headset on.
Yeah. Caller, are you there?
Okay, let me tell her. I'm texting her now.
Okay.
Hello.
She was trying to listen to the show, and I told her when you're on the
Hello?
you have to just talk. Okay, go ahead, ladies. Go ahead.
So we're talking about balancing competing worlds of family and work.
Well, I know with my oldest, I would work in the daytime. Well, no, I worked at night. My husband worked in the daytime, so that was our balancing act for a while. But then when the other two came along, I did have an opportunity that I was home with the younger two for a while. So everything relied on me with keeping everything straight, going to school, going to practices, picking everybody up, getting everything done. So it's very challenging, but it's sacrifices. Like I said, I learned to do the morning work, or he worked at night, I worked in the morning, or vice versa.
Okay.
So it's
Do you remember Michelle Obama? I don't know if it was an interview or if it was on the book
Hello,
tour.
ladies.
Someone asked about a woman being able to have it all at the same time. And remember, she said that S doesn't work, and people remember her saying that. She said that because actually what it was, because some woman had written a book called Lean In, and there was a philosophy where you lean in. She said that the word. That's what she said. I loved it. She said it doesn't work. So in other words, she's saying, I mean, you can't have it all at the same time, and that's a myth or fallacy. You can have it all at the same time, a full job, family life. Because you see that she had to do the camping trail, had to cut down to half-time, and she gave up the job completely to be available on the campaign trail and to be available to her children. I loved how she made her children a priority no matter what, and tried to give them a normal life as possible in the White House. So I love that part.
Did any of you find that she was sometimes a little rigid? I mean, dinner at 6:30, bed at 8, dad come in, kiss him goodbye at certain times. I don't know if everybody can keep it on that kind of timeline. Have any of you been able to do that? Have that kind of tight?
I mean, I grew up that way. That's how I grew up.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I grew up.
Well, that's different for me.
I mean, grew up in terms of my parents. That's how we had a strict bedtime. Whatever. I don't know what time it was, but whenever Dragnet came on, that's when we had to go to bed. Whatever time Dragnet came on, that was bedtime.
I think pretty much about 9 o'clock.
Dragnet, was that late? You think it was that late? Dragnet? I mean, I don't know. Does anybody know what time Dragnet came in? Or if that was whatever time that came on, that was bedtime always. So.
Can you hear?
It was kind of loud. I can hear it.
So you hear Michelle?
No, I
Oh.
hear
That's
Dr.
what she
Wanzo.
Oh.
was. Okay.
Oh no, I hear us talking.
Oh, okay. She's still on the phone. We're texting to.
Michelle, caller,
She's
can you hear
enjoying-
us?
She says
Oh,
great
okay.
panel. She's enjoying
Oh.
it. But for some reason, we're still.
I hear Dr. Wanzo.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
go ahead. I'm sorry, ladies. Go ahead.
But for me, when Michelle talked about Barack being gone, I mean, forever, with all of the different jobs, whatever he was doing, when he had to go to his little hideout places, even when he went to Hawaii. I felt all of that because in my marriage, my husband has gone away from the home pretty much because he's working. And it's definitely been a balancing act in terms
He travels with his job?
No, he's
no.
local. He's just
Oh,
working all the
oh,
time,
okay.
trying to provide because
Okay.
he's the main supporter in the household. And with two girls, they're 24 and 17 now, but this has been throughout the duration of our marriage.
Okay.
Because I was going to school. I did a little substitute teaching, but just trying to complete my things, and he stayed out on the workforce to make sure we had whatever we needed, and it is a sacrifice. And even now with me still trying to, I mean, I'm closer in terms of I think retirement age as opposed to the years of work because I did more substitute teaching than I did. I'm not really under a retirement system in terms of the number of years.
How were the years like when the girls were in grade school, high school? What were those years like for you?
Challenging because you have to be. I'm very thankful. Let's not get that part twisted because
I was glad to have that support, but it still made, it was almost like a single mom, you know, even though I knew that he was out there. But when you're trying to, a 7-year difference, at first with the first child, it was she and I. You know, girls club, after school programs, getting up early in the morning, and we got that from home in terms of just being able to. Now I didn't do a check box, but because of my mom, we're not late. You know, we weren't late for school. So in my life, you know, as I grew up, I'm on time. I mean, or before time, should I say? Because if you're on time, in my mom's opinion, you're late.
Right.
If you're on, you know, my family teases me now. You know, we know you're going to open up the building, whatever. So, and I take pride in that. But it is, I mean, trying to get up at, and then sometimes I'm up even before 4 o'clock in the morning just to get the household started. So when you think about and running a full day, making sure, like I said, that first girl was wherever she needed to be, trying to make sure you had lunch packed for him, everything kind of set up in order, and then then when I was trying to go to school or even substitute working, because I would do some work, but it was really a juggling act in terms of just trying to make sure and keeping your sanity at the same time. I'm not going to say I was as calm as Mrs. Robinson, Michelle's mother. So, but I just appreciate the openness. You know, she was so her disclosure. You know, she had no problem just opening up. But you have to just be honest, and I think that letting people know that this is real life stuff.
Yes.
You know, so don't try to make it seem as if you're kind of fooling yourselves when you have people to think it's a happily ever after.
Right.
I mean, you find those times. I like the fact that I'm all over the place right now, but I like the fact that they had those Friday night.
The date night.
Right.
So they did the little restaurant thing. Even if they got, she looked so forward to that.
Yeah.
So, and in my marriage, you know, I talk about trying to do those things. I just think it's so important. She took that one dinner and they talked about the pot roast and the mashed potatoes.
Right.
So I mean,
And they made it seem so romantic.
and they made it seem so romantic. So you have to find those balances and what work best. And I think speaking back to what you said, Dr. Wanzo, about Barack's political arena out there, and even with, I haven't gotten as far as with the presidency when they got there, but as he was going through that community organizer thing, and when the first daughter got sick, and I mean he got battered, I mean really bad,
because he chose to stay in
because
Hawaii,
he chose to stay. So I think that kind of helped her to still stick with. And then knowing her husband, in terms of his mission and his vision. So I think that's what really helped her, even though she probably did not want him to go back in terms of getting that abuse.
Right.
But she knew without a doubt, those type of things for him, it was almost like flying like an eagle in the sky for Barack. That's just how charismatic and how smoothly he handled it, you know, in her eyes.
Right.
You know, but it is, like I said, it is just really just knowing who you are and the person that you're with and how you want to bring up your family. You know.
They seem to be such an extraordinarily balanced couple.
Yes.
You know, where she felt that she needed help, he picked up, and vice versa. And they always had the give and take that I thought was so beautiful. You know, they weren't a perfect couple. They had their issues. That's why they ended up in counseling. However, I think they both worked at making it work.
Exactly.
And that part of her story, I really enjoyed listening to. And plus, they seem to understand each other's soul. I mean, she seemed to understand exactly where he was coming from, you know, what he was good at, what he wasn't good at, and vice versa. And I thought that was the love story.
Yes.
But, you know, I'm a sucker for a good love story. The love story for me was so beautiful. And I think the fact that they loved each other so deeply helped to make everything they had to make work.
Yes.
You know, if you had two people who are disconnected.
All you have to do is look at the current current White House
Right.
situation. That's all you have to do.
Right.
all you
It
have
would
to do.
not have
Yes.
worked that
Right.
well. You know, and they always kept it light.
Yeah.
You know, the humor in it.
Oh, yes.
You know, and I think they never did anything disrespectful. You know, and that to me was just a beautiful part of their
And
relationship.
I think that was because they were good friends first.
Yes,
Yes.
you're
Yes.
absolutely
Started off
right.
that they had that foundation
Yes.
so that the love blossomed from the good friends rather than vice versa.
Yes, that's
Fall in love and then become friends.
Can I ask you, ladies, what was your favorite part of the love story? There were so many that she shared.
I think I love when they were on that date and she had the ice cream and they had their first kiss.
Too.
Yeah,
I
the
just thought that was
kiss.
great.
Oh, the first kiss. I was like, oh,
Couldn't
yeah,
you just see it like it was a movie?
Yes.
I mean, you could just see how they were postured sitting on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought this is just too beautiful. Is it real?
I just love this book. Oh my
Me
goodness.
too.
I love this book.
Me too. Me too. You know, I wonder when she first started to write, this is just me thinking out loud as I was reading it, had she mapped it out? She's so orderly. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Right.
she probably did mapped out, had an outline, the checklist,
Yes.
every section of her life. And as you go through the book, it's compartmentalized, so you could read one section all by itself, you know, and then go to another without reading it from beginning to end.
Yes.
Oh, caller, are you there? Hello? Caller? Hello, welcome. Caller, can you hear me? Hello, caller. Okay. Yeah, I love how it's organized, like the becoming me,
Right.
becoming us,
Yeah.
and becoming more. I just thought that
Yes,
was brilliant, the
it
way
was
that she
brilliant.
organized
She
it.
did say that she wasn't a journaler, that she didn't do journaling very well. So I don't know if someone else was, if I can remember, if someone else was helping her because she had some awesome assistants.
Somewhere, I can't remember where she mentioned how someone helped her go through all the logs, White House logs or something. She had somebody to help her to go through that.
But
Somewhere
she
mentioned
also said that she started journaling
yes.
because Barack liked to write and to read. And even though it was with effort, she started doing it on a regular basis. So I think she took some of her journals and used that in talking about much of her book.
Did anybody I know in high school I used to keep a diary in high school.
Oh, I did every
You
day.
did? Okay, I did. Yeah, I kept a
Every
diary.
day
Anybody
from
else?
the time I was
yes,
13
I kept a diary in high school.
till I graduated.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my brother got a hold of it.
Well, you know, mine had a lock and key.
Oh, okay.
I think I write a little bit more now than I did. I was just wilding out as a kid. All over the place. Loved sports. We were outside playing a lot. So I didn't spend a lot of time writing.
Hello, caller. Are you there? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, caller.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm still texting her trying to get her to.
Oh.
She's persistent.
She is.
Yeah. So you were saying that we were talking about journaling and diaries, and then you were.
I think I just write more now than I
Oh,
did,
you did?
back
Oh,
then.
oh, okay.
I feel a little bit better about it.
Oh.
Pretty much now.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I kept a diary maybe 2 years. I was always outgoing and music. I like to listen to a lot of music.
Yeah. She talks about the role, the jazz, and which was the uncle? They had the jazz, and she
Southside.
Southside, right? Yeah, when they had the jazz, and she would listen to the music, and Stevie Wonder, and I guess later on he actually came to the White House. I really loved how she opened the White House up to all kinds of music and culture and people. I love that.
Okay, we'll go back to WCEG Radio.
I hear
Hello, caller. Can you hear me? Hello, caller. Hello.
Is it back on? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your comment? or
The
question?
phone is working.
I can hear you, caller. You can go ahead and talk. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay.
Because I could hear her talking.
I can hear her in the background.
Yeah, she must have influenced. Like I guess I loved how she opened up the White House. She had what Prince, Stevie Wonder.
Trying again.
But I like the way they made the White House a home.
Yes.
So we were trying to listen to the computer instead of talking into the phone.
Hello, caller. Hello, welcome.
Oh, hi.
Oh, I recognize the
Wanzo,
voice. It's my
calling from
sister.
Milwaukee.
It's my sister. Hi,
Great
Kathy.
show, Dr. Wanzo, Penny, and other guests.
Oh.
Now, my question is, Mrs. Obama writes about being flung out of my world. Again, being flung out of my world. What is the best advice for young people who find themselves in new or uncomfortable terrain?
Good question. To realize that it may be new or different, but whatever's going on, that you have the capacity and the strength to adapt to the situation and to survive. Just give it time and don't give up.
And be true to yourself.
Any other suggestions?
Enjoy it. Don't
Yes.
don't fear it. I've moved a lot, so I've had different experiences living in different parts of the country. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Don't fear it.
Yeah, don't give up. And you to be yourself. Thank you so much, Kathy, for calling. That's my sister in Milwaukee. Yes, we're like
That's
13
nice.
months apart. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
So she's the one, like, when we were little, my father would put the two of us in the wagon and take us to the library every weekend in the library. Yeah. Okay. Any more callers? Again, the number to call is 678-619-1402, 678-619-1402, 678-619-1402. We welcome your participation. Again, thank you, Kathy, for calling. Yeah.
Yes. You know, one of the most interesting. Oh, there's a call coming in.
Sure. Hello, caller. Are you there? Hello.
No, that's Michelle this time. She's
Oh.
coming back.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear us? Hello, caller. Hello. Can you hear us? Oh, great, great.
We need to applaud.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Persistence. What's your question or your comment? Hello. Hello. What's your question or your comment? Can you hear us? Hello.
So you were hearing her at first, right?
Yeah, we heard her.
Yeah.
Hello.
Michelle? Talking to the phone.
Hello.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I don't know why hers is not connected.
Oh,
'cause
my
Kathy
sister.
can't
Yeah,
hear
my
it.
sister.
So we know the calling is working. Okay, so we'll continue.
You know, one of the things that really struck me when I first started reading the early part of the book is how humble their beginnings were. The fact that her parents never owned a home, they lived in this tiny little apartment above someone else's domain. They made it work, but I guess that was one of the big surprises for me. I expected their lives would have been a little more upper middle class, maybe. You know, that was just in my mind. And how they had no complaints, and even when they were able to get something else, they chose to stay right where they were.
Yes.
They
Lots of
loved
house
it.
poor. He was called. They didn't want to be house poor.
Right. He was more concerned. The dad was more concerned about his children's future, their education, and it really struck me when they took that one room and put a petition in between
Yes.
to make a room for her and a room for him, and you just make it work.
Yeah.
You just make it work. So I just thought that was wonderful.
Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to read what her statement about becoming on page 419 in the epilogue. She says, "For me, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously toward a better self. The journey doesn't end. I became a mother, but I still have a lot to learn from and give to my children. I became a wife, but I continue to adapt to and be humbled by what it means to truly love and make a life with another person. I have become, by certain measures, a person of power, and yet there are moments still when I feel insecure or unheard. It's all a process, steps along a path. Becoming requires equal parts of patience and rigor. Becoming is never giving up on the idea that there's more growing to be done. Wow. Woo. Wow. Actually, this book has really changed my life. It really has got me to think, outside my little rigid checkbox, everything in order. Like, there was a part she talked about always wanting to have perfect attendance. I was the same way. I had to have perfect attendance all through school, high school. But I think a lot had to do to please other people, adults, to be perfect. I had to be perfect, and everything. So I'm learning to loosen up.
Do you think she was trying to be perfect?
Well, she was trying to please the adults and get approval from adults, and that's another thing that was pretty much the same for me too, to get the approval of adults.
I think most kids, and most people do, in terms of whomever it is that they look up to. I think it's like a letdown, maybe, or a disappointment if they can't please, especially mom or dad, or it may even be a favorite aunt, and it looks as if they don't satisfy their needs, the other person's needs, they feel, like she said, insecure, or I'm not perfect, or what's wrong with me, and I don't know.
They gave up a whole lot to become president of the United States and first lady.
Yes.
And when she talked about certain parts of being there in the White House, it was like prison.
Yes.
Okay.
Not being
Can't
able to
open the windows.
Yeah.
And I remember they wanted to go out.
Her daughter
Wanted to
tried
go
to
out.
sneak out to go see the lights on
Right
the
on the
White
building
Yeah.
when that
Okay.
bill was passed, and they had to just almost sneak out to. I mean, she said it took us 10 minutes to get out of our own house, and I'm thinking, would I want to live like that? I mean, if you had the opportunity to raise to that level, would any of you want to live like that?
Wow. That very difficult. You're right. Because I like coming and going as I please. You're
Me
right.
too.
It would be
Right.
very difficult.
That would be very difficult.
That's why that story she gives about the cheese sandwich, how that was such
Yeah.
a relief
Oh, I ain't
to be
got
able to
that
make the cheese sandwich. And that was just fine. She could go in her own kitchen, make her own cheese sandwich, go sit outside.
Right. So is it worth the
yeah.
exchange for the power of the office?
I think for me it would be very difficult. Honestly, for me it would be very difficult because I like to just come and go as I please.
Me too.
I don't think I could do that.
It would be.
It would be
difficult.
hard. It would be hard for
It would be
me.
difficult for me.
Chauffeured, flown all over the world,
It's
cooks.
It would
Yeah.
be difficult.
The freedom, right? The freedom. Because you're right. No way it
You
is
really
like
have to
being in
give up a
prison.
lot.
Yeah.
I understand sacrifice, but that is a lot.
Now, I think there was a part I read where when he talked about becoming president, he said it's basically what Michelle decides.
Yes.
Okay.
So, why do you think that she decided yes? Because I thought now I don't know how the rest of you read it, but I thought she was totally against the political
Well, she was against. Yeah, she
arena.
is. Yeah, she is. Still is. She says that. That's why when people say, "Oh, she's going to run," no, she absolutely makes
Right,
it clear
she makes that
she
clear.
doesn't like politics.
So what do you think was the deciding factor? I mean, just
I think she
about-
said she felt that he had so much to give to the world that he would be, to give to the nation, that it would be, selfish for her to not allow him to do that.
she saw his gift
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes. His
Right.
gift, his purpose, yes.
and
Yes.
respected that.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes.
And in spite of the fact that she still does not care for politics, I think that early on she saw everything that Barack was about.
Yeah.
In terms of even when he went back to his own hometown, she saw him in full-fledged everything.
Yes.
So with her bringing all of that into the marriage, I don't see where, talk about a grave sacrifice.
Yes.
I mean, a grave sacrifice. She dug down really,
Yeah.
really,
Oh,
really
yes.
deep
Yes.
to make that decision,
Yes.
and so unselfishly. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think because of just her knowing his all, just from the beginning, just his background, all of his roots, from the great grandmother to the girls, I think it was, because I believe it was Barack's grandmother, but just even going all the way back, I don't see where she would have, I don't know if she would have been able to even handle it had she not allowed him.
Peter, we're asking ourselves if we could make that sacrifice of giving up so much to be in the White House. Is that something you think you could have done, make that sacrifice? Because you said you've actually visited the White House, you said.
Yes, and it was something that was very, very, during the 2012 re-election campaign, the community organizers were invited to the White House.
Wow.
This was in December of 2011, and I was just, words can't describe the feeling that I had knowing from where I came from, inner city, the things that happened to us, as I was speaking earlier about the discrimination and, just how separate our worlds were, and thought somebody like me could be invited to the White House. And only under the presidency was I able to do that, because everyone else has been in there. They kind of keep it closed only for a select few people.
Right.
You have to have a certain status.
Right.
And for me to have the opportunity to go to the White House, I'm still in awe right today that I had the opportunity, and that was only under the Obamas.
So were they there? Did you
The
get
President Obama was there.
Wow.
The family had left going to Hawaii for the Christmas holidays, but he was still there. We got a chance to tour and see the state room and the different. The red room, blue room, all those are colors that are there inside of the White House. And just to go through the security, just even being in the midst, it was just amazing to me. And we didn't have the phone things like we have now. At least the little phone that I had wasn't capable. It wasn't a smartphone during that time.
Okay.
So I'm looking now for my old digital camera that has the pictures on it, because we were able to take a few pictures with just going through all the security and just being up in there and just the feel, and it was all decorated with the holiday, decorations and everything. It was just awesome. It was awesome. And just to when he came to Atlanta to Tyler Perry Studios back in March of 2012. Prior, when he was on the campaign trail, we had the opportunity to be at Tyler Perry Studios, and he came through, and I got a chance to shake his hand again.
Oh,
and it was just
So given that, if you were in Michelle's place, do you think you could have given up? That's the question.
Absolutely.
You could have the sacrifice?
Absolutely. But just knowing though the cause and what he was for the people. Not just our community, but he loved the people, and the people loved him. And I think that's where a lot of
Still do.
hatred and
Still do,
a lot of
yeah.
the things come from the other.
Because he's the most admired man and she's the most admired
That's
woman.
what I'm saying, because
Yeah.
they are so down to earth.
Yes.
And a friend of mine got a chance to see her when she was in Birmingham doing that campaigning for the 2012 campaign. Dr. Amanda got a chance to meet her and be like on front row right there in when she came to Birmingham, Alabama back a few years ago, and she said just her presence, she had that same charisma, that same, you could just feel the love coming from them, that they were so genuine. And that's what I guess we really don't see from the other leaders, that they are up here and the people are down here. And so we just try to just being able to knowing the sacrifices that she made to give up her life to support her husband, to take care of her family, that says something about her character in
Yes.
general.
So you could have made the sacrifice.
I think I would have. With a man like Barack, of course. I'm sorry. You're right now. I guess it depends on the individual, okay? But just knowing though that you can tell the love he has for his family, his wife, and for America, well, the world really, and whether he was received or not, no matter how disrespected he was, that people were to him, he still showed love. They tried to bring him, they tried to break him, bring him out of character for him to say something, so they can go, yeah, I knew you weren't all that good. I mean, that's what people kind of look for, but for him to still maintain his that character and just that. Whatever it
His
is
composure.
he just never allowed anyone. Now, maybe behind closed doors, I'm quite sure they had quite a few things to say, or just to really just being out of the public eye.
But no scandals in all 8 years. No
Yeah.
scandals.
But see, that's just it. And
Yeah.
but we see the scandals that are going on
No,
and what is being done about it. Nothing. But it couldn't be him or any of us because they would drag
We're
us
held
through the
to a
mud.
different standard.
But I think though, with the question that came up though, in terms of, I think with that type of leadership, with that type of husband, with that type of family support, everything that comes with the package, even the bad things that happen that we may not even know about. But I was just glad how transparent that she was in her book to talk about those personal and intimate things, and just her growing up, and I could relate. Just being from the neighborhood and just how you had to live, and they were sharing the upstairs,
Right.
Just her even with the piano lessons. I never had the piano lessons, but just knowing you had that strict teacher
Right.
that always was on you. But when she went to her recital and she said she saw this baby grand that she had
For the
never
first
seen
time.
before.
Yes.
She didn't even know where to start.
Right. She can find middle
She didn't even know how to
C.
play it.
Right.
So when the teacher came over, she said she don't know what if it was for her to get this show off the road or on the road, or just knowing the position she was in, had never seen a real nice piano before.
Right.
She didn't have that dent in the key.
Right.
Right here, I had that again,
Chipped
where you know your starting point.
Right.
And I'm not a piano player, but I was really feeling everything that
Yes.
she said. I really felt everything that she said.
And that's why I think that, piggybacking off of Penny's point, that's why I think that just bringing about exposure to our children, because with her being stuck in that situation right there, there is no way in this day and time people should not feel the necessity to take their children to museums, show them other areas of life, the beaches, the libraries. I mean, that way you don't have to feel as if you're lost everywhere you go. I don't even know if that's the right word, but and getting back to the point like Trina mentioned when she said in terms of recognizing when people try to throw those curves at you, I think that's what I liked about President Obama. He held his own in spite of, because he knew what he was working with, and to have people to take him out of just his place of integrity. I won't give you that. I just love that about him. Watching him in every move, every time he showed up for whatever it was, whether it was a television with the gentleman, whomever it was, but no matter where he was, he always stayed within his character. He never allowed people to take him, even if he felt those urges, And so to me, that just spoke volumes, And my Sunday school teacher says a lot. He talks to us, and particularly I have to really receive this because he always throws out, just because it can be said doesn't mean it has to be said. So for me, I take ownership to that, because it's growing, like she said, becoming. You have to know where you are, and I'm learning in my life that if you see where the things that you have gone through has caused you problems or pain within yourself, you got to do it a different way. You have to really think about doing it a different way, and you have to let the younger generation know, listen, back up for a minute, So I just think with this book, it just makes me want to continue my mission in terms of working with our kids, letting them know, you are somebody, don't ever let anybody tell you, just what you can't do. Don't feel like you have to be stuck in this, like you said, one avenue. Try other things. You don't, and I learned that through sports, because the coach might say, I want you to try out for first base. But my coach allowed me to try in different areas. So therefore, if somebody got hurt at the pitcher spot, and because I had, pitched before, it was more of an advantage, I think. So when you shorten yourself and don't allow yourself to, and parents, don't allow their children to kind of, like I said, be exposed. It can hurt us.
Yeah, she talked about the importance of mentors in her life, all the various mentors that she had when she was at Princeton, and the one who took her to New York and got her out of her comfort zone.
Oh, yes,
but she
she
made her
sure
drive the car around the block, and that was funny because I would have been the same, the same way. Just I can't. I would have been that way, and
I don't think she'd ever driven.
No.
she had a license. I think she
But I don't think she had driven.
Right, she had the license, but I don't think she had driven. And even if she had, it certainly would not have been
because
up in New York.
I
petrified her.
I didn't get my license till I was in medical school. Yeah, I was in medical school for something. And the only reason because, like in the third year when you have to go in your rotations, like surgery, you have to be there 6 o'clock. So I couldn't take the bus and stuff 6 o'clock. So that's when I learned to drive and get my license. Third year medical school. Yeah.
Wow.
Otherwise, probably who knows. But you have the mentors like Valerie Jarrett and all the people that she mentioned. And another part I really liked was how she always had a group of girlfriends that kept her grounded, that she knew from way back, and how once she rose, she didn't just forget about her good girlfriends.
Yes.
How she would invite them to Camp David, and they would hang out and do things. I love that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yes.
Her group of girlfriends.
Patrina, the question came up before you came in about giving up. What was the question again about what you...
Would you be able to give up your freedom to live in the White House, given that you couldn't leave when you wanted or go shopping? Would you be able to do that, you think?
Knowing me, I would say yes, because when other chance would I get than to live in the White House? We get so satisfied with doing what we see all the time, the everyday routine stuff. And I'm not a person of routine to the degree where I'm bored, but I already know that that's a set limit. It's either going to be 4 or 8 years. It's not going to be for the rest of my life. And so I can sacrifice and sit up in there if I was with the right man and everything. But I'm just saying.
She did say that. Right. Of course.
Hey, you're right. If it was
You gotta have the right partner now. You gotta have that. Does make all the difference.
If Barack was in rotation.
Boy. I think everybody, just when everybody found out about him and knowing that they were going to take that venture to take the White House, I think everybody was looking for their Barack. Where is he? Think about it. How many comments that you have heard your girlfriend say, boy, if I just could have, I know people are different, don't get me wrong, but he just set those standards, and he was still an ordinary person. That to me is just the key. He was still just an ordinary, that's the part to me you have to get. He was just still an ordinary person, and not downplaying any of his intelligence or anything like that, but he didn't seem to be, to me, the type of person that, sat way up here and had you to feel that you were out, big old me and little old you.
Right.
He was this brilliant, attorney, graduating from Harvard, head of the law review, and instead of going to a prestigious firm, he went to a firm that dealt with community organizing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Met you right where
And that
you were.
just shows you pretty much the type of person that he is in general, of being concerned about people and not the status. Because just knowing his story too, and how his grandparents, his grandfather especially, was pretty rough on black people. And for him to be a black male, he could feel that, like when we spoke earlier about how when I was in corporate America, how they were telling me, "Oh, you're not like the others," but they would still try to talk about black people. But I'm like, well, I'm those people, you know, and I'm not gonna sit here and let you talk about my people.
Don't you
And they used to
remember?
look
I
at
think
me
it was like when
so crazy.
Trayvon Martin was killed. He said, he
And he spoke
could have
up
been
because
my
he said that could have been
It could have
you.
been
Yes, he
yeah.
did.
It could have been my son, and people gave him a hard time about that.
Right.
Yeah.
And just
We
for
never
the
folded.
threats that were
Never
made to
folded.
the family, and that's why Michelle's, you know, and I know that in her heart when she was saying that she could not forgive Mr. Trump for
The birther,
45,
for the birther.
45, but
Yeah.
about
the
the birther and
birther,
putting
yeah.
her family in
At
jeopardy.
risk, yeah.
And I know eventually that will change, but I could feel her pain for her knowing that her family, you know, he was putting her family's life on the line by making certain comments, and they already don't like us anyway, but why, if you have a leader that's doing this, you know, how can you be so cruel? And then you have children. That's in the picture, but that's one thing, they did protect their children, and I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that about them.
Yes,
they
they
don't play,
did.
you know, you don't play about the children. Yeah. But we are only 2 minutes away from 8 o'clock. And there was a comment or two about we're going to do a part 2. Didn't know how you felt about that. So, because some more people were trying to come up into the studio as well. So I didn't know. I just told them I would put it out there and find out.
Okay, well, ladies, are you interested in doing a part 2?
Oh, I would love
We
to.
didn't really even cut through the chase.
Right.
So-
And it would give me a chance to kind of catch up on
checking
some
the box. I'm
things.
swerves or whatever. Flexible.
So you let us know. I was just gonna.
Yeah.
I told him I would put it out there to find out if
Yeah,
you
we're
would
gonna
do a
swerve.
part
It's
2
not gonna be
of
just
this
one
thing.
show.
Okay, sounds good. So
It's kinda
same
hard to
place, same time
Put it
next
all
week.
in one show, really.
We can
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, because it's still a lot that we
Oh,
didn't touch
yes,
on too.
yes.
So I do, but I'll let you finish and wrap us up and kind of give some closing remarks or something.
Yeah, like I said, this book has been very life-changing for me. Even this past Saturday, I was in the office, and a patient starts talking about, we both got into it. And she said how much it changed her life. I said, yes, me too. And she was just saying the same thing, how she had been a box checker. Now she's learned this word. A patient, yeah. And she's a therapist also. So this book is impacting everyone at every level. Unfortunately, it's like I have not met one man yet that's read the book. So
There were a couple of men that were wondering if they were invited. So what I'm
Have
going to
they
do?
read the book, or-
Yes, they were reading it too when we started promoting,
great.
talking about it last year. So I'm going to reach
From a
out
male
to.
perspective.
I'll reach out
Yeah.
to them and find out if they wouldn't feel intimidated or threatened about coming in. They were thoroughly enjoying it too, and so I will make sure that I reach out to them as well,
Okay.
so we can.
I'm just going to read
what
this
we
one
can do.
sentence.
Go
It's
ahead.
becoming. It's all a process. Steps along a path. Becoming requires equal parts of patience and rigor. Becoming is never giving up on the idea that there's more growing to be done.
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think that summarizes the book. But we are going to do part 2 next Wednesday from 6 to 8. And we'd love to hear from you. So thank you, ladies. I really enjoyed this. The time has really flown. This has been really wonderful, and I thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
Wonderful.
us.
Nice to meet you, ladies.
A must read for everyone.
Yes,
Absolutely.
men too,
Yes.
men, black, white, everybody,
Yes.
everyone. Yes,
It's a book that belongs to the world.
yes.
All
yes.
right. All right. Yeah.
So, any closing remarks from anyone, or we can close out and that's all of it.
I think Dr. Wanzo said it all.
Till next week. This time next week. Same place, same time.
I want to thank everyone. This has been an awesome panel discussion, a roundtable, and our listeners have been enjoying it. And they were just saying they've just been enjoying the conversation. So, thank you. Thank you. Katrina did our wonderful flyer for the program today. She's been walking into her gift and her and that grace that she's been doing. And Fran, it's good seeing you. It's been some years, but thank God for Facebook because we keep in touch with each other and just looking to kind of do this again on next week.
Yeah,
And thank
tune
you all
in
for
next week.
supporting.
Same place, same
Thank you all
time.
for supporting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Nice to meet you, ladies.
You as well.
I'll figure out where.
Same here.
How long have you lived in Atlanta?
Since been in Georgia since '89.